A lot of paid campaigns do not fail because the creative is bad. They fail because the budget keeps going up after efficiency starts going down. My name is Salam from Insights Titan, where we empower businesses to make better decisions with data and drive growth. More spend does not mean growth, and this is one of the hardest things for agencies, teams, and clients to accept. A campaign can still be generating conversions, a platform can still show you a positive ROAS, and yet the next dollar you spend may already be doing less work than the previous one. This is the idea between diminishing returns or marginality. At first, the spend works, then it works a bit less. Then at some point, you start even paying more for extra volume that is getting less and less efficient. And if nobody is watching out for this, the budget starts to rise while the quality of the return slowly and quietly diminishes. This is a trap for most agencies because a lot of agencies live in the predictable reporting loop. The client wants more leads, the team increases spend. The volume goes up, the platform still reports results. So it feels like things are working, but underneath, the cost per lead is rising, conversion rate starts to weaken, the audience quality is not as great as it used to be, and the demand becomes weak. So now the agency is trying to technically see how they can drive results, but it is not efficient. And this is because when nobody talks about diminishing returns, more spend starts looking like the answer to every problem, especially more spend in a particular channel. The question shouldn't be, can we spend more? A better way to question this is, or a better way to think about this is, at what point does every extra spend stop being worth it? That is the decision agencies should help their clients make. Not just thinking about scaling, but thinking about scaling without diminishing efficiency beyond what the business can tolerate. And I use the word tolerate because every business has a different answer for what they are willing to tolerate. Some clients accept a higher CAC if the volume matters more. Others need efficiency of the campaign be as tight as possible. So the optimal spend level is not just a fixed number. It is usually based on the business. So here are signals that you may be past that sweet spot of efficiency. There are a few signs that you can look out for. If your spend is increasing faster than your conversion, if your cost per acquisition keeps climbing, but the extra volume is not meaningfully improving the business outcomes, your lead quality starts dropping even when the lead count goes up, the team has to work harder and harder to maintain the same level of return that existed initially. And one of the biggest signs of this is that finding the optimal spend level is really about finding the trade-off. This is where a lot of paid media conversations go south. People talk about the best budget like there's one perfect number. Usually, there's no perfect number. What you're trying to get is the trade-off point where more spend still creates enormous value or great value, but not at the cost of the business. So the goal is not maximum spend and it is not minimum spend either. It is the spend level where the growth and the efficiency are still in a relationship with the business, and that is what makes it look optimal. Now, this is where measurement starts to become more valuable. At lower levels of spend, having a simple report can feel enough. You spend more, you get more. That's quite straightforward. But as your budget grows, that becomes less reliable. Now, your team needs to understand which channel saturates first, where efficiency starts bending or sloping down, what part of the spend curve is truly healthy, and whether the platform is reporting something that is overstated. This is where more matured measurement becomes useful. Because once a client is spending serious money, even if the dashboard looks okay, it is not enough. They need a clearer view on how the spend is behaving and the relationship with the return. Agencies create more value when they protect the clients from overscaling. And this is one of the most underrated ways that agencies can provide value. Not by pushing for more budgets, but by knowing when more budget stops being valuable or stops making sense. In this way, they can build trust. Because when the client sees the agency as someone that is protecting the economics of their account, not just someone that is spending for the sake of it, in a lot of cases, this is usually what happens. However, this is what separates a regular media buyer to a trusted advisor. You don't need a model to be able to answer these questions or even ask these questions. questions better. You can start from here. What happens to your CPA as your spend rises? What happens to the lead quality? What is the client optimizing for? And what trade-off are you willing to accept? And those questions help you to understand that more budget doesn't equate to more success. If this was useful to you, if this was valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.